Welcome, everyone. Wow, wherever you are, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. I know there's a lot of people right around this amazing planet of ours that are joining us from a whole bunch of areas. Welcome to this, I believe, the 43rd Laser Livestream. We're getting close to that 50. I'm starting to feel like an old man. It is awesome to be here. I hope you all had fantastic 2 weeks since we were here last. I see a whole bunch of people coming in and saying hello. This is awesome to be able to come back and just talk about something that I believe we're all pretty inspired and excited to talk about, and that is laser technology. Guys, it has been kind of a crazy week for me, but you know what? I'm so glad to be here. I always really appreciate coming and connecting with all of you here on the live stream, as well as doing a whole bunch of different things to do with laser technology, usually during the week. And it's just awesome. And to just see the chat room right now, like to see everyone in there coming out. We'll definitely go through. I want to acknowledge everyone. It is awesome to be here. Do want to share with you as well that this is a live stream. The people who are in the chat room have my full attention. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of different things here today. If you're looking for the tutorials, that is below or on the channel. But this is a completely different creature, and we're going to discuss why we do this twice a month. Who knows? Maybe we'll go 4 times a month. We'll see what happens. But it is just awesome to see you. If it's your first time here and you're in the chat room, shout out, say hello. Because you, my friends, are now laserologists, and we love to meet you and hear about what you are doing and what you're creating. So let's go quickly to the chat room. My desk is actually full of stuff today because we're going to go a little old school today. We're going to go jump into Lightburn. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tools in Lightburn and how I use it. And we're actually going to combine that a little bit on the fly and see if we can create a project. That's going to come up a little later. But before we do that, let's go and see who is here. We have, of course, the one, the only, Mike. Mike is a founding laserologist. He's actually letting us know that he's going to have to catch us on the replay because his mom, see, I did that American style. His mum, that's British, that's Australian, is coming to visit. So drive safe, pick her up. Maybe you'll get her to watch a little bit on, and we'll say hello to her as well. And before that, I actually do want to acknowledge 2 people who were here, and I was chatting with them. Today was kind of an interesting day because usually right up until we start this live stream, wow, does it become busy. And I actually was able to go in. I know Adrian was here. Unfortunately, I've lost his message. No, there he is. He's in there live. A little bit further down, Adrian came in. I think he got the first dibs on the chat room, and also John. John also came in to say hello. It was great to see and have a quick chat with you guys before we started this live stream. Who else is here? Dean. Dean's been here before. Good morning, Dean. I hope everything's good for you. Thank you for joining us. Fallen Angel is also here. Good to see you, Fallen. It's great to connect again. And Peter, coming all the way from the Netherlands. Peter came on board a few live streams before. He's always here. I know it's first thing in the morning for Peter. So I hope what an honor to start the day with you here on the live stream. It's pretty cool. Stuart's also here, coming in from the Valley. Atomic Jared also coming in from Camden. Now, Tamaz, you are new. Let me know in the chat room, which is right here. In this chat room, dude, do me a favor. Let us know where you're from and let us know what kind of laser you use. Welcome. You really are a laserologist now. It's great that you joined us here on our journey. It is awesome and great to see. Stuart's also, this is what I love about our community. Stuart is letting Adrian know that, he saw his last piece of work, and that's awesome. And we've also got David, who's, I believe, David's return. No, I know David, of course. And he's coming from Tweedhead. So we've got a lot of Aussies here. I know that as the world turns, more and more people will be coming in. And as, we do this opening, we've already grabbed a few more people who are going to come and join us. It is awesome to see. But before we go any further, I do want to thank the people who help us bring these streams to you. And that happens to be both Darkly Labs, the home of the Blazer range of diode laser cutters, and Lightburn software. Both of these pieces of technology I use a lot in my tutorials and the live streams. Guys, if you haven't tried Lightburn out and you are a hobbyist or maker level of laser user, that's going to change your life. If you're looking for a laser machine that you can put in your office or in a classroom, or you just want to make sure it's safe around the next generation of laserologists, I can't recommend the Darkly Labs in Blazor more. And you know what's kind of really interesting? There's been a real shift in laser technology and the price right now. It's kind of amazing to see all these kind of low-end laser engravers and diode lasers coming out in the market. There's so many more people coming on board and trying these out for the very first time. So you know what? If you want to dive a little bit deeper into Lightburn and see what it can do, or if you're just starting out, this is the live stream for you, because we're going to go through some of as I said before, some of my favorite tools in Lightburn. So it's kind of cool. I don't think I was just keeping an eye out to see if Tomaz was going to come and let us know what kind of laser he is. I'm sure he'll do that a little bit later. Guys, if this is your first time, we're here doing the live stream to create a laser community. I know there's lots of communities that are springing up all around the internet, all on YouTube, all on different platforms. That's awesome, man. I personally believe learn from everybody. In fact, I got an email just this week from someone who was kind enough to reach out. It was not a quick note. It was quite an in-depth email sharing his knowledge with me. And you know what? It was wonderful to hear from him. It was kind of interesting because it started out with like, hey, I don't want to say you're doing anything wrong, and I just want to share this sort of stuff. And my reply to him is, this is awesome, man. It's like, I know what I know, and I'm sharing my journey with all of you here. But as I'm going to share with you with our intentions in this live stream and the community, no one knows it all. And we are so much stronger together when we share. So let's jump into the intentions, because we are building a community, and these are the intentions of not just the community, but the live stream itself. So our first one is to build a creative, interactive laser community. What does that mean? We love it when you interact with us, both here on the live stream, the tutorials, and our Facebook home. Our second intention is to support all laser users. Guys, whatever you're using, I don't care. There's no bias here. I happen to use a diode laser and a CO2 laser. Love to get my hands on a Galvo or I guess right now they're talking Galvo because of Lightburn, but a fiber laser. I would love to have that experience. I'm going to put it out there in the world that will happen soon, so I can bring some of that to you here. But whatever you're using, you're welcome. We want you to share your experiences and your questions. Our third intention, share knowledge. That's what happened via email this week. It was great. I'm starting to go through. There was so much information that I'm going to hopefully share with you on other live streams and videos. But it was great to get that deeper layer knowledge. And it's also great to meet another person who is infatuated with laser technology and willing to share. And our fourth one is just to learn from everybody. Guys, if you're in the chat room, hey man, go and call out, because that is what these streams are all about. Now you might be asking yourself, hey Gil, how do I get involved? This is my first time. I don't know what's going on. Let's see what's happening. Oh, you know what? I think people are talking to me and I didn't see it. Oh, I didn't. Wayne Butcher is back. Wayne, how you doing, man? He just went straight to, that's because Wayne said hello. First timer here. I'm sorry, Wayne. I missed it. I didn't realize my screen wasn't scrolling down. So Wayne is a first timer. Welcome. You're a laserologist. It's great to have you on board. Let us know where you're from, Wayne. And he's from the UK, running 2 K40s with Mini Gerbil so that he can run Lightburn. Awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, welcome. It is great to have you on board. It's great that you're here live. I know that it's probably pretty early in the morning, so that's great. Well, not great, but I'm glad you've joined us. It shows your enthusiasm about this subject. And if you're not already, go over to Facebook and join us so you can share some of your projects with us. Dean's also sharing with us that he loves the later start time. Well, it's 6 o'clock. It's the winter here in Melbourne. I'm glad that was able to work. It's also great. David Randall saying, later on, need to ask a quick question? Well, you can throw it out there, my friend, anytime you want. Oh, look at this. Cindy coming in, another new live laserologist here. Cindy, great to meet you. You're all the way from the Netherlands. Also sharing that she loves the videos that I put out. Thank you so much, guys. Gotta be honest with you, I get a little criticism on some of that too. Everyone's kind of learning their own thing. So it's great to hear the positive feedback at times. Cindy, tell me what type of laser you're using. So good that you're here. And I want to share both with Wayne, Cindy, and Tamaz, because they're all here for the first time, how you guys can get involved. And it's really simple. If this is your first time to the channel, go over and hit that little subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner. That helps us out incredibly, because YouTube is now one big algorithm thing. You know what I'm saying? That will actually support not just these live streams, but also the videos that we're doing. And guys, feel free to chat. That's why we do these live streams. That's the difference between a tutorial video or just a standalone video talking about stuff. Yeah, you can put comments in, but here you've got that interaction. I wish I could put every person's face on these live streams. Unfortunately, I can't, but we can do it through the chat room. If you're watching the replay to this, hey guys, no problems. If you want to get involved, you can. We have an email address at laser.livestream@gmail.com. You will catch me that way. We also have a Facebook group that's incredibly active with a lot of the names and the people who are in these live streams. You can find us at www.facebook.com/group/laserlivestream. What's great about that is you can post your results or questions there. There's an incredible community that supports everyone, and that's a great place to catch not just myself, but everyone who in our community between live streams. Alternatively, we also have an Instagram and a Twitter, so you will be able to see some content in between our live streams. But guys, that is an awesome way to do it. There are two other things that I just want to share with you. No pressure on that at all. But if you're live and you like what you're seeing, or you've learned something that has kind of really impressed or changed the way you use lasers, if you're live, you can put out what they call a super chat. It's a little bit of a donation. It comes up on the screen and all the rest of it. You can do that live while we're running the live streams. It's a great way of saying, hey, you know what? I like what you're presenting. Otherwise, if you want to help with this project, the live stream project, if you go down below, there is a one-time donation PayPal link type thing. That's a great way of being able to, again, support. And just to let you guys know, everything that comes this way basically gets returned into the Laser Livestream project. So you know what? It's just appreciation, and you know, people have been really, really gracious, and also quite a few times when we get a donation, there's a really lovely note attached to it, and it actually kind of gives me feedback on why we're doing all of this. Believe me, during the week it can get really, really tight on time to get all this stuff together, but boy, the payoff is when I get to meet the people at the other end and see the amazing things they're creating. So I just wanted to share that before we move on. It's awesome to see. Rhonda has also come in. Rhonda, great to see you. Hey, Rhonda. Now, hold on a second. I'm so weird with names sometimes. Rhonda, let me know. You've been here before, right? And if not, welcome. Let me know in the chat room. We've also got Cindy saying, hi, Peter, and thank you for the welcome. I'm using a Sculptifun S9. Just got it in, so I have a lot to learn. No problems. That's great to see that another person is grabbing some laser technology, in that case, diode laser, the Sculptifun, and hopefully you will be able to get some hints out of this as well. And Peter's also sharing, it's a great place to learn, Sydney. Just ask and we will answer. Absolutely. That's what we do. So what are we doing? What's on the agenda today with the Laser live stream? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through what we do every live stream. We're going to share some of the projects that the Laserologists have shared with us over the last 2 weeks, and we're going to see some of their results. I love that because we can see progression, especially with the people who are generous with their sharing. Then we're going to go on to my 5 favorite tools in Lightburn. Boy, was this hard. This was kind of a really hard situation to work out. And I'll talk about why I picked these 5 tools. And then we're going to also look at the good and the bad, the ugly of material that you may want to put in your laser. You know what? Safety first, guys. I am such a big advocate of understanding the technology you're using and the risks involved. Because back in the day when I was working out all this technology by myself with maybe 1 or 2 other people, I got caught out. I actually got caught out. And that actually was the whole inspiration of doing a video in the first place on YouTube many moons ago, gosh, it's got to be years now, which was just like, hey guys, are you aware that cutting this piece of material might be dangerous to your laser and yourself? And of course, little did I know, we're all here now. So you know what? It's great to be here. Rhonda sharing with us as well that I've caught one of your live streams live. Awesome. Well, welcome back. It is great to see everyone here. So let's jump into it. Let's go and start looking at some of the Laserologist projects. God, you know, when we named ourselves Laserologist, I know I've said this before, sometimes it can be a real mouthful, just a little bit. But you know what? I love all you guys, so it's not a problem. Before we do that, though, if you're live in the chat room right now and you haven't done so, can you give me a thumbs up? That's also a great way of letting YouTube know that you're enjoying what's going on here. And that also helps our reach to get to all the other laser users out there to hopefully present with something a little original. But while you're doing that, we're going to go on and we're going to look at Vicky. Now, Vicky is a brand new member to the Laser Livestream community, and this was one of her first projects. She's using an Blazor core, I believe, and I thought, first of all, this is an amazing project for two reasons. One is you can see the results that she was getting out of the Blazor diode laser. She was actually using material that was bought that is not specially designed for laser cutting. This is just normal ply from a hardware store, but you can also see some of the issues that are coming up out there. So on the left hand side, you can see that the Christmas tree on the left hand side, parts had cut through quite easily and efficiently, but on the right hand side, you can also see that the same power, the same process hasn't actually cut all the way through. There's a number of reasons for that. That could be simply when they were making the piece of plyboard, more glue got smeared on one area than another, and it may need another pass to be able to get through that. It could be that the board was not flat when it was on the cutting area, and it could be out of focus. It could be that there are fibers, because wood is a natural material, and cellulose in the fibers, there could be more in that area than in others. So I know that a lot of people reached out and shared with Vicky Ann that if she can get some laser ply, she'll be able to not only get the results she wants a lot faster, but also repeatably. So you know what, Vicky, thank you so much for sharing not just your first project, but also the issues that you were having, because that allows other people to also understand what's going on. I'm looking forward to your future projects, and I think I looked at that thread before we went on, and I think Vicky has already used some laser ply and got this project all the way through. I think she also tried to save this one using a scalpel. I'll have to check it. I don't know if she's going to catch this live stream, but Vicky, let us know below in the comments if you are watching it, what your results were. Good job. Now, Mike is another laserologist that likes to share his projects with us. I don't think Mike's in the chat room right now, but he has joined us many times. And here you can see Mike with his Blazor 2, cutting some really fine pieces out of material. I believe some of this is card. It's pretty cool to be able to see just how fine a detail. And I like these images because you can actually see on the new honeycomb cutting board what you can actually create. And you can see that the fine details. Mike has also shared us this image, and the one on the left, I've got a soft spot for that one, because I actually know exactly how it feels at the end of a project where you've cut out so many pieces, and it looks like he's actually used the array tool to be able to do that. And I believe these are pieces for his daughter's creative projects. I think she's got an Etsy store. If Mike's here, please feel free to drop the link to the store in the chat. If not, that's okay. You can do it in the comments below. And again, you can see the fine detail that these lasers can actually create. So Mike, great to see you using your Blazor 2 and the results you're getting out of it. And it's also nice to see your workstation. Like, I'm always curious at how people have set up their laser, especially in their homes. Great job, Mike. One of our favorite laserologists who shares a lot of his work, Jur, shared with us what I'm calling Scratch Paper City. Now, scratch paper is a material that a lot of people are starting to use to actually engrave images onto. You can see he's been working at this for quite some time. And the last one he did was a hear no, speak no, see no evil skeleton image that you can see the results out of the scratch paper is very unique. It's almost like it's layers colored, but that's actually the way the paper's made. I did look up what scratch paper was. It does slip my mind right now, but Jura, what a great job and a great result. I know that you're going to be sharing other things with us. Jura loves to push the envelope when it comes to engraving images. And it's been so enlightening to see different people's materials and how they actually, what the results are. So again, awesome images as always. Dean has been with us for the last couple of months and is exploring his diode laser. In this case, he's actually made 2 wooden blocks for his grandson. And again, you can see some really interesting work with these pieces. Very different from what Dean has been putting out, but it's awesome to see what's going on. I've got a sneaking suspicion that the block on the right-hand side might be used some sort of borax solution because it's so much darker. But I got a feeling that Henry's going to love his blocks with diggers and machinery. It is awesome to be able to see. Dean, great job there, my friend, as always. David, you're asking about the question. You can put the question here. I will get to it at the end, or you can hold it. But I will, once we get through all of this, we'll make time for questions. No problems. Adrian's in the chat room. A very good friend who is doing incredible stuff with lasers. He shared with me that he's making now engraved labels using some material that he can actually get from I think it's Trotec. They make special engraved material. It has a gold surface, and then you engrave to release the black surface underneath. These are really kind of fun to be able to see how he's actually creating them and the results he's getting. Now that's done with a diode laser. That's actually done with the Emblazer core. The photo is a little grainy, but you can see some of the results you are able to get with this material. I've used something very similar to make plaques, as well as kind of little pieces that I have used for different models. It's great to see Adrian exploring new materials. I would love to, maybe if people are interested, I might show you some of the results I've been able to get as well. But it's, again, another angle and direction people can take with their lasers. It's pretty cool. Great job, Adrian. And Adrian had also shared with us his latest image when it comes to actually using the engrave to etch a photo image. Adrian usually uses a white painted surface on some MDF, and you can see there. What I love about this is Adrian likes to share with us his original image and then the result he can get out of his core. As always, really, really cool result there, Adrian. It is great to not only see how you've progressed, and I know that you're running your machines almost every single day, creating these amazing pieces, but also congratulations on everything that's going on. So Adrian, I'm sure he's in the chat room. So it's just been a pleasure to be able to see your journey. Great job, my friend. Jur, who was doing the scratch paper engravings, also shared this one. And again, it's a rare opportunity to actually see the original image and then the result he was able to do on a tile. These things are amazing. Like, if this doesn't give you inspiration to try some of the techniques in the tutorials on the channel, or go and explore other different techniques, I don't know what will. Again, you can see the original image on the left-hand side and the result on the right. Really cool stuff. Love the fact that everyone shares this. It's really inspirational. Now, Craig is a brand new laserologist who joined us on the Facebook group. Why I shared this is for a very simple reason, and that is that Craig has just gotten a diode laser. He's trying to make, if I remember correctly, a crochet, what's the other word? It's something to do with crocheting so that you can put needles in and work out what size gauges. And Craig actually asked the question, how do I now engrave the size of the holes or the size of the needles that we're going to put in here? So I thought, why not actually answer this on the live stream because I saw it beforehand. He's got some great advice. This is where layers will actually help you out incredibly. And there are a number of tools you can do to line up your piece again in the laser, print and cut, which we may take a look at tonight. If not, we definitely have a number of tutorials on the YouTube page, is what I'm trying to say, that'll help you with that. You know what? That's something that as you get more familiar with Lightburn, you'll be able to actually use the text function to place all the different needle sizes onto this piece and be able to line it up so that you can get it directly on there. If it's a case of not being able to work out how to line it up and you want to take your time, you can actually place each measurement on the piece and using the line tool. Not what am I saying? Line tool. I'm trying to remember now what it's called. Boy, this has been a big day again. Let me quickly just what am I trying to say here? I am trying to say the frame. That's the one. Good one. But you can use actually the frame tool that's in Lightburn, which actually will show you the area that's going to line up. So sometimes I got to be honest with you, there's so many different things that you can do with Lightburn. Sometimes keeping it all straight in your head, you know how to do it. But again, it's just one of those things where you want to make sure that you are saying the right things. A few people have said that to me. They're like, Gil, you said the wrong tool, but we know what you're working on. So Craig, hang out with us if you're watching the replay, and we're going to show you some of those things coming up. Perfect use case for cameras. Absolutely. You can also, if your laser has a camera, you can also line it up. Peter, great suggestion. Absolutely. And our last one tonight is from Mick. And Mick has been doing these layered images that are almost photorealistic. And in this case, he's done one of Thor. I can't zoom. Well, maybe I can zoom. Hang on. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. I know we did it last time. We're going to lose a little bit of this, these images, but that's okay. Well, see, I'm moving around. Let me show you guys by moving it up a little bit. Look at the detail in this image. It is pretty amazing. And what's really amazing too is there's a background image that you can see, and then the actual Thor face is actually raised. So you can actually turn it. It's almost gives a three-dimensional kind of configuration and look to it. But just on the engraving and the results that he's getting on this is just amazing. Such great work. Mick, I'm going to see if I can get you back on a full screen thing. We'll see what's going on. People are now seeing behind the camera. Well, that's in that sense. But Mick, great job. And we love seeing the work that you're doing. It is spectacular. As all, one of the things that I love about the group and the community is people sharing their projects. I'm a great believer that if you make stuff but you don't show it to people, you're missing out on the wonder and the beauty of creating things in the first place, because people get inspired. They may try to do the same thing. I haven't got a problem with that at all. But what I love is to see how they take that workflow, those tools, and iterate again to see where it veers off. That stuff is awesome. And that's why we show it, people's work. Every time we do a live stream, I, again, get really, really inspired by it. So that's kind of cool. Now, Dave had a question. Let me go and see what's going on. Let's pull it up here. Dave says, why am I getting overburn on glass when fill mode is used? Wish I knew how to send you a photo. Oh, okay. So send you a photo. Peter actually answered that for you. You can send a photo on the Facebook group. Absolutely. We can definitely take a look at it. The great thing about the Facebook group is there's lots of people there who are willing to help and share and explore what you're working on. I may not know the answer, but I guarantee you someone will come up with a direction and we can definitely kind of nut that out. But yeah, if you want to share that, that'd be awesome. Don't know if we can get to it in the live stream today, but we will definitely be able to address it later on. So that's kind of awesome. Awesome. I say awesome a lot, don't I? It's because I'm having a good time. What can I say? Guys, we are going to go move on. Unless anyone has got any other questions in the chat room, feel free, guys. This is the time to ask, not just right in this moment, but throughout this whole live stream. Feel free to chat away. But we're going to actually look at my 5 favorite Lightburn tools. And you know, a lot of people I've been getting quite a bit of feedback, and people are like, can you go back and start talking about some of the basic stuff? There's so many people who are now using Lightburn and just trying to understand and explore what it's capable of doing. So I thought, why not? Let's go and dive into some of the things that I really enjoy. I did put up a poll both on YouTube and Facebook. I'll give you the results of that a little later on, of what people really like the most when it comes to tools. The other thing that I realized was that maybe I'm a little biased, just a little bit, that I really love the design tools in Lightburn. In fact, I hate other vector programs. I gotta be honest with you. It really is. I get confused and muddled in Illustrator. I've tried Inkspace. Maybe it's just because I use Lightburn so much with my laser that this has now become the default when I am doing processes that may need to go into an Adobe format or into a vector format. I will actually default to using Lightburn. So a lot of the things you're going to see today are based around that design kind of quality, the features in Lightburn around design. But I'm also, if you guys like this, we may revisit this again, just looking at what I consider to be laser control, some of the different modes and the different features in actually controlling and generating code for your laser, whether or not it's whatever flavor it is, whether it's a Galvo, a diode, a CO2, and the controller card. Guys, let me know in the chat room if that's something that you want. But we're going to do this old style, and that means I'm going to go and throw over to my other computer that's sitting here. We're going to jump into Lightburn, and we're going to go through this one step at a time. So let's see if it works. There you go. Wow, I sometimes hold my breath to see whether or not that's going to work. And we're actually using the latest version of Lightburn that just came out the other day. So this is 1.2.101, which happens to be the latest. It's got a few fixes in there, and a few other people were talking about what's going on. And I think it wasn't a big feature release, but I know that they were taking on board some of the things that people were requesting. So I'm just going to go and pop this up. So we've got it full screen, and let's talk about it. So really, as I said to you before, we're going to look at some of my favorite functions. The first one happens to be this function right here. It's not drawing different it's not drawing shapes, which I actually do enjoy. That's a real basic tool. Let me see if I can do this a little bit different, but this happens to be one of the things that I really love because it just makes sense to me. And that is, if I select two items, I have 3 or 4 functions here called Booleans. And Booleans are a mathematical process that will work out differences. So the very first one is kind of a weld. So you can see we've got a shape there, the outline. The other one subtracts. In this case, it's almost the same thing. We have the subtraction one there of the first one, and then we also have subtraction on the other. Why I like these Boolean functions, to be really upfront, is that you can create some really amazing shapes and textures. Well, not really textures, but paths for your laser very, very quickly. And as Lightburn has actually evolved, they've made it really easy to work out which Boolean function you want to use with the Boolean Assistant that you can get in the tools. And what this pop-up does is it allows you to preview what's going to happen to your shapes using this assistant. So you can work out, oh, that's the shape that I want, or this subtract B from A happens to be the process that I want to do, or maybe it's the intersection. I just need that little piece, which is great when you're making puzzles, by the way. It's such a great shortcut. And again, with this assistant, you can just reset it and decide what you want to do. So in this case, we're going to actually use, I'm going to cancel it right now. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. I played with this a little bit, and I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do. But we're going to make this shape here, and you know what? We're going to use this in a project because I like not just to show tools, but also work with them in kind of a project way. So as I was saying before, number 5 is my Boolean function. Now the next feature that I use a lot, and you'll be surprised at how much I use it. If you're not using it already, you should really explore it. And that happens to be the offset shapes. tool, which again is incredibly powerful. You can actually make offsets. In this case, it's inward. I'm going to put it on both. And what that allows you to do is create kind of outlines of your work, which you can use for so many different reasons. I often design something. I might do an outward offset just like that, place that on a different layer. Like, we're not going to go into layers today because that's more laser control. And I can actually use that as a line, changing the mode. Why did, right? Well, interesting. That's interesting. Why is that a layer? That black layer is grayed out. I'm not too sure why. That's interesting. See, doing it live. Guys, you ever have this problem where you have something that's grayed out and you're trying to work it out? Let's try to see. I've got a feeling that's a new one on me, but let's go and see. There you go. Oh, actually, that's fine. It's the highlight. That's a new feature in Lightburn. That's not a problem. So we can actually change different powers. So in this case, maybe I want to engrave this black line. All I have to do is come back here and either drop the power or increase the speed. So, oh, there's some nice changes into this. Oh, I see a tutorial video talking about this. But anyway, we won't go too much into it, but this is a great way of getting an outline. So I could have that blue line cut out, but engrave using the line function, more detail onto the piece that I'm working on. Again, coming back to the offset, I can change the distance. I can change whether it's going forward and back, and you can start seeing here that some of it's not as symmetrical as some of the other things would be, but that's okay. And it gives you so many options. You can actually round the corners. You can turn it into a straight corner. You can see here now that some of these have got rounded corners on it. These are sharp corners, or you can bevel them. I personally like to leave it as beveled. And in the options as well, you can actually turn on and off certain things. Like you can select the resulting object. If you were to do that there, you can see that it was, oh, there you go. You could see that it's both the outer and the inner layer that was selected. And I tend to repeat some of the processes when it comes to the offset to work out exactly kind of thicknesses. I work very visually. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I kind of work visually. So I need to see what's going on. And again, you hitting that undo button, it's a really fast way to go, you know what? That was too thick. But for this shape that I'm working on, let's start at this thickness and see what else we can work with. So my fourth favorite tool that I use all the time in Lightburn is the offset tool. If you're not using it, definitely start exploring some of the things in there. I believe there's a tutorial that we go through all the different options in offset. But you know what? It's also incredibly fun to go and just start playing with these tools and understanding how much you can get out of pushing and pulling them. We've got this weird shape. I'm going to show you my next favorite tool that I use all the time. In fact, as I'm bringing these up, they're like in an order of the tools that I use the most. And this next one happens to be this command right up here called group selection. These three people. If you are designing things, if you are working with multiple layers, if you're working with intricate parts, the group function is just such a lifesaver once you've got your design worked out. What I've just done is I've taken those two layers, and if I click anywhere in on those areas to select them, they are now grouped. They will move together. I can resize them. I can move them anywhere in the work area. I can if I select it. There's a lot of things that you can do. And as I build my designs and start locking things in, I start grouping them so I'm able to actually work out what's going on. Now, Rhonda's saying everything is really blurry. Is that just you? Good question. Let me know, anyone else, if it is blurry. At this point in time, from what I'm seeing, is quite clear, but I'm not too sure what's going on. It could be, I know that YouTube, depending on how much you're actually able to download, sometimes it gets a little blurry. It's probably the scaling. It's not yours. Peter, are you also blurry? gosh, if this just comes out blurry all the time, we might not be able to do these live. And I hope it's not the case. It looks okay to me, says Audrey. Okay. Well, we'll definitely see what's going on. It's a bit blurry. That's usually, unfortunately, it coming off YouTube, depending on how much you can download as such with the stream. Dean saying it's looking good for him too. We'll keep going. I'm sorry that it's a little blurry. I will see. I am recording this locally too, so maybe I'll be able to clip this out. Stuart saying it's okay. Not looking good for David. Well, sorry to hear that, guys. Let's move on and let me know if you want a separate kind of posting of just this area. We can definitely do that. We were talking about the group area, the grouping. It's halfway around the world. We lose pixels underway. Looks okay in Australia, says John. Yeah, I've got a feeling it's all the gateways. You know what? It's all the crypto guys. If you're not into crypto, blame all the crypto guys who are mining all that sort of stuff. They're killing the bandwidth. All right. So as I was saying before, this happens to be grouped. You can ungroup it with this single guy up here, and there are hotkeys, which is Control or Apple U for ungroup, and I believe it's G. Control and Apple G also will be a hotkey. And you can actually then select certain things, and you can actually, use them individually. So it gives you a lot of control. I'm just going to undo that so that's both back in line. This grouping, we're going to use it a lot today as we go through this, but it's also just a really, really powerful tool. At the end of most of the stuff that I design, I will group them all into different elements and also lock them in place. So that's something else that I'm it's not going to be on my list of favorite things, but if you right click, there happens to be, and select first, if you right click, you can actually lock selected shapes in place. And in this case, when you select them, you can't move them around. So that's a kind of a freebie. Grouping is the tool that I use, but also if you're happy with things, you can lock them and then unlock them again using the right hand pop-up menu. So don't know if anyone's used that before, but there you go. Now, my next, or really my second favorite tool when it comes to Lightburn happened to also be the #1 tool in both YouTube and Facebook poll. And that happens to be one of the reasons why I fell in love with Lightburn in the first place. And that happens to be the tracing tool. So if you haven't done it before, definitely check it out. I'm just going to pop this a little bit lower and grab an image. I'm just going to grab this little image in here and pop it up. I'm going to go jump back out, and I'm going to introduce you to, I think, one of the things that really a lot of people love, and that is this image right now. If you take a look over here, oh, that's interesting. It's not a Darkly Labs tile, but it is an image. So if we were to go and hit that preview, you can see right now it's just, you can't see anything. Or if you go in a little bit, that's only because previous settings are there. This is an image that will scan across with your laser head to create that image, but we don't want to work with it in that way. We want to turn it into a line. We want to turn it into a vector for two reasons. Personally, I love turning things into a vector because then the laser works a lot faster than just scanning an image up and across. Oh, Dontra. Hey, Dontra Bound. You're looking good. Is this your first time to the live stream? I don't recognize the name. Welcome if it is. You're a brand new laserologist. It's awesome to see you here. And please don't be silent. We want everyone to be as active in our community as possible. Coming back to this image, I'm going to show you guys how to trace. We're going to go back to that right click menu, and you see down here it says trace image. This opens up the trace image window. This is incredibly powerful for a number of reasons. If you want to get involved and understand exactly what all these options are, I will link a tutorial video where we go through each and every element when it comes to tracing. But what I want to show you here is that if you click this delete image after trace and hit OK, you now have the same image, and we'll zoom in, with all that detail as a grouped as a grouped vector or grouped design. So that's super cool. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make my own stylized kind of like skull face. I think that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to place it on one of these. So I'm going to go show you. Hold on, what did Peter say? Is your YouTube resolution set at, oh, that's for Rhonda, 180p. Thank you so much, Peter, for trying to work through that problem. So remember, we're talking about grouping before and ungrouping. Guys, I'm going to ungroup this, and I'm going to show you pretty much the thing that, when it comes to designing, that I am incredibly, incredibly happy with. But before I do that, I'm just going to quickly do a little bit of work here, because I need some eyes for this piece, and I'm actually going to select them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that piece and duplicate it by hitting Command D. So there's some basic eyes. I'm also going to do that again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little smaller. I'm going to just also push and pull, just give it a little bit of kind of context. I'm going to grab this little handle here and just move it around a little bit. Let's see if I can make that a little bit more round and bring it in. I missed a step, so I'm just going to catch up right now. And you can see here, I'm just doing this really basic shapes. I'm going to show you why I'm going to do that a little bit later. But I also, see, I want to jump ahead, but I don't want to, but I might do that anyway. And that is, I'm going to just quickly grab a pen tool, and I'm just going to kind of create like a mouth, a little bit of a mouth. It's not very creative, but I'm going to fix that up in a second. And again, let's just move in here a little bit. Let's center the face. It's not the greatest design, but I'm going to show you how I fix this up. And again, I'm going to come back to the offset shapes, and that's way too big, way too big. So let's bring it down. I can actually do that either. Oh, we'll have to do it outward, of course. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hit OK. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that center shape. It does look, actually, it's not so bad. But let me introduce you to my favorite feature in Lightburn, and that happens to be the edit node feature. This was a game changer for me. As I said earlier, when we started talking about my favorite tools, I would get confused, absolutely, when it came to Illustrator. I'm how do I say it? I really love Photoshop. I understand Photoshop. I understand all the pixels and everything else. But you know what? It is so cool to be able to understand how vectors work simply by going through and using that. Cindy, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you can join us again. But and I hope you can catch the rest of this on the replay. But it's great that you were here, and I hope you got something out of it as well. So in here, in this piece, I'm going to show you. This is called the edit node feature, which is either Control or Apple and the hyphen. So in here, you can see that this piece now has all these little points. And this is an incredibly powerful tool. If you ever want to know what the options are, if you keep your mouse over the edit nodes command or tool in the toolbar, it actually shows you a whole list. And they've got things like smooth nodes or lines, convert curves to a line. The tools that I use the most are D for delete a node or a line, I for inserting a node or a line, or S meaning smooth. And I'm going to show you that I've now got my cursor over. We'll zoom in a little bit because I know you guys are a little bit, the pixelation issue. So I've got my cursor over this node, and if I actually hit the S, it's actually brought a curve in. I'm going to do that here as well. And you can see here that I'm kind of creating something. Now it's kind of interesting because as we zoom out, and if I deselect that doesn't look like a really smooth mouth at all. So let's undo that. But I just want to show you what one of those tools are. And one of the things I use is I like to also grab, once we're in node, I like to grab the line. And this to me is a complete game changer. You can push and pull it. And you can see those little handles that come up. So you can start slowly creating curves that look really kind of natural for what you want to do. And you can grab kind of nodes, and you can push and pull them. Or in this case, if I want to get rid of that node, I can delete it by hitting D and just grabbing that whole piece and pulling it down. I can do that same thing here and see whether or not, there you go, it's a straight line, but let's actually grab the right line and we can start mirroring some of what's going on. So you can, I'm not a great freehand drawer, I must say, guys, but even here, it's a kind of a really cool way to start getting some of that organic shapes and curves in really, really fast. And of course, you can always grab one of these handles and start deforming what the shape is. So depending on what it is that you want, I find this to be a really, really cool way to be able to create something really, really fast. I'm going to delete that one because it seems that it's, well, there you go. See, I deleted it, and I also deleted all that curve as well. And in fact, I think I want to delete this one as well and see if we can bring that out. So again, you can start seeing there's more organic shape. This one, it's one of these handles I don't like, isn't it? I don't like using the handles. Let's see if we can be cheeky. There you go. So let's zoom out. Let's deselect it. And we've got kind of a smiley face here. We're going to just move it around a little bit, and we're going to make it a little smaller. Now, if that's not enough for you to get involved and get excited about the node tools, see, now that we're out, I can see, you know what, I'm going to change this a little bit. Like I said, I'm very organic when it comes to my designs. That's pretty basic. You can start seeing eyes, nose, and a mouth. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you can use that same node edit tool in something like this and start clearing up some of the information, so or some of the lines that you may want not to use with your design. So over here, there's two areas that I'm going to look at. We've got two skeletons that are holding a hand. I really only need one skeleton. So what I'm going to do is select. These were originally grouped. So I'm going to show you right from the start. I jumped ahead a little bit because we're doing this organically. This is how it came into a Lightburn. I'm also going to just quickly zoom in a bit. We're going to go and unlink it. And I want to show you something that's really kind of interesting. I can select this whole guy here and go up to his hand and just delete him, right? Great. But if I zoom in now, do you see that there's we're missing parts here? Like half his hand disappeared. And that's because the vector was connected. So let's go back. See here, it's come back. So it means we've got to be a little selective here. So what I'm going to do is just jump back out, zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to be kind of selective with what we're going to delete. And I'm going to try and delete as much as I can without affecting that hand, because I like that detail. I want that detail in my final piece. Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close. And as we zoom in, we can see some of these pieces. Watch this. See, disappeared, right? So this piece here, at this point, it's joined. And this is where, by jumping into the node, edit node, if I can actually do the right one, we see kind of a bit of a mess, but we can actually start working out what it is we want to keep and what it is we don't want. So what I want to do here is, and I'm going to zoom right in, is that I want to kind of take this line and bring it down and back. This, I'm going to say, is his or the skeleton's kind of like pinky finger. So I want to kind of create a piece right across. And there's a number of ways you can do that. I'm going to show you my way. It does take a little bit of time, but I think that once you understand this process, it's actually really, really powerful. So the first thing I want to show you is how do I get rid of this stuff here? And it's really, really fast. By using the hotkey D to delete stuff, you can literally just take your cursor, continually hit D, and you can see here we're starting to build a separation very, very quickly. Now, there may be other people who will do this faster once we've got a separation. See, this is what I want to show you. See what happened here there? Even though we selected it and deleted it, it deleted more points. So it's not, when you're in node edit, you know, it's like, okay, I'll just select this thing and I'll just delete it. No, they are connected. So again, one of the fastest ways to do that, and I'll just zoom in, is just come in here. You'll start learning very, very quickly that certain points remove certain things. Yeah, this is a little bit of time consuming, but like I said, this isn't as time consuming as you'd actually think. If they are standalone like these, it's very easy to do. Ah, we still lost, didn't we? Hang on a second. Let's redo that. Sorry, guys. We're going to go up here and hit the redo. We're going to do redo again. Yeah, we're good. So again, outside of the node edit, you can select these shapes. I personally, I don't know why, I really have a lot of fun going in and editing out the nodes themselves. But like I said, it depends on how much time you have. I love to create these sort of things and kind of feel my way. Some people, not so much. Let's go and select this piece again. Let's go into the node edit. And really, we want to start kind of grabbing this, or actually, before we do that, let's start getting rid of some of these things because we don't need them. Some of these smaller pieces. And we just, we'll get rid of these pieces as well. We just kind of drag them across. I want to be careful because I don't want to delete too much as well, because see, there's now I can start seeing that the hand coming, you know, into shape as such, into a shape. But if I select these guys, it's going to remove too much information. So let's do that. And again, just by selecting the line, you can see what's going to be affected here. Let's go in. Sometimes doing it one at a time is a lot faster and a lot safer than removing some other things. I'm also going to get rid of these guys because that's the finger on the other skeleton. And now we're going to go back into node edit and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Now I can, and I'm going to do this. I'm just going to delete this line, and I'm going to delete this from here. Just delete these guys. You can see it's all popping as the different node information gets deleted. And now I'm going to actually start adding another node. Oh, you know what? I haven't done this way before. That's okay. So I'm just going to connect these two. Let me see if it's going to do it. Yep, it is. And what will actually happen now is that is now joined as one piece. So if I get out of the node and select it, yeah. So now you can see that even though we haven't really refined the shape, it is all selected as one piece. So we have a piece that is joined. I'm going to clean that up in a second. So let's go and hit that nodal point. And what I'm going to do is just delete that one. And I am going to also delete that one, which has just removed what I wanted to do, but that's okay. And I'm going to grab this space and I'm going to start putting in a few more nodes and start dragging them around a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. Why I didn't zoom all the way in when I was doing this is because I want to try and keep that shape. And so I'm going to put a bow in there and kind of bring that out a bit. So it kind of, it looks like an inflamed hand. I don't want to do that. Let's bring that in a little bit. And I kind of want to see, maybe we can start bringing, there's a finger there. And this is where, I might have deleted a little bit too much information, but that's okay. But to me, that kind of looks the part. And then what we can actually do is we can start grabbing, we'll duplicate this piece. We'll do another one. And it's very easy to put a lot of information back, because who's going to say it's wrong, right? This is an original. It's a Laser Livestream original. And we can kind of put that in there, zoom out. And to be honest with you, I think that's pretty good. The only thing that comes to my mind here is this looks a little straight. So again, let's go back into the node edit. This is a little straight here. So I'm going to actually put a node just here by hitting I. And I'm going to kind of bring that around a little bit because there's like a bone there, and try to bring that in just a little bit. And we're going to try and follow that contour. So again, I guess it's just an artistic thing, but if I'm looking at that now, there is a little bit of a bump there, but that could be the wrist bone. So if you understand your anatomy, that kind of helps a little bit. It's ultimately up to you, and I'm just going to clean this up as well, and I'm going to clean that up. And what I'm going to do right now is just, again, go up, because these are individual parts. I'm going to group them so that I can now scale my skeleton and start bringing my happy skeleton face, once it's all grouped together, over. And it didn't do it. Sorry, guys. See, it happens to the best of us. Let's all group it all in one piece now. I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to turn it a little bit, and you'll see again why I love these tools is I can put this in the middle, and I can go, all right, you know what? That's a little bit too big. We need to also just do a little bit of finessing, and I'll show you why in the preview in a second. That looks pretty good. We will remove the existing skeleton. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to just quickly turn the show off once I put them all in the same layer. So in that case, let me quickly just ungroup them again. Let's go and highlight all of them and just make them black. Great. We'll just quickly group it again. And again, you can see the power of grouping just very, very quickly, because now we actually have it on a layer that we can, once we make this big enough, we're going to turn it. So this is going to be like almost like a, not a cartoon face, but one of those kind of, stencil artwork. I think that's a good way of explaining it. We'll just make him a little bit bigger. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off that show. So I have a general idea of where that's going to be. I'm going to select it, again, ungroup it. I like to group things when I'm not editing. And I'm just going to delete. And again, do you see what's happened here? It selected everything. So if you grab that one piece, you've got a problem. So this is where I tend to grab things, and then it's simply not so much a problem for the outside. Oh, sorry, the middle stuff inside, but that outer line is connected. And again, you can just really remove it very, very quickly. It's almost like erasing a lot of stuff. And it's interesting that these pieces did not come up, and that's because they are actually separate pieces altogether. So if anyone timing me right now, let's see how long it's going to take Gil to get rid of all these nodes. And if anyone has a faster way of doing this, please let me know. As I said, I'm always open to faster workflows, but I find this to be an incredible way of being able to do this. And I'm trying to show you how I create things kind of quickly. If I'm actually working on something that is something I'm going to use, like a logo or something like that, I slow the process down. I take breaks. I come back. But again, I love being able to do this in Lightburn. So right now, except for these three little dots, I think we can select all of these, delete them. We'll delete these two. And we'll do the teeth as well. So we've got the neck here. Degroup everything, then delete. Maybe that is the way to do it. Thanks, Peter. I will definitely check that out. There's my happy face, my happy skeleton face that we created together. Just going to make them a little bit smaller. And I think that's a good place for my skeleton to be. So if we go and actually take a look in the preview, is he off the scale? Ah, he is. So I'm going to select both of them. Ah, it's the feet. Look at that. The feet didn't get joined. Okay. So in this case, we're going to group all of that stuff together. Select both of these. That's better. So let's go quickly take a look at the preview. And you can see here, when I zoom in, that what we actually have here is the face, but you can see all the detail beneath it. So we're going to actually selectively go in there and remove all those pieces so that the face looks solid. And then I'm going to show you how I'd finish this up using a fill selectively to darken the eyes. That's creepier, says Audrey. Yeah, I actually think this is a really kind of a fun method of being able to create these sort of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, ungroup it. There's some things here that we can remove. See, we can remove that piece and we can remove some of these smaller pieces. I'm actually going to, I want to keep that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, should be able to lock that selected shape. So that's not a problem. And just to get it out of the way, I'm going to turn off show. And then again, I'm just going to select things and quickly delete them. You can see here, that's a lot of information that I want, that design. Now I'm just going to turn the show back on. I'm going to come in here and select this piece, go back into the node edit. And really what I want to do is, I don't want to delete anything that's touching that line. So I'm going to just change that node just up there. And then again, start deleting stuff. I see, I got it wrong straight off. I'm going to delete this one first. Thank you. I don't want to delete. Oh, that's a handle. That's why. There we go. There we go. And we're going to come back here, just delete all these pieces. And if I select this one, you'll be able to see here, it kind of finishes at that line. This one's going to be a little bit busier. So in this case, I'm actually going to add a node just in here. Actually, that's the wrong place. Sometimes it's so busy. I'm actually going to grab a node right in here. And in this case, I'm going to also add a node in here. And in here, I'm just going to follow that outline on this piece and then start deleting the other ones. So it's not going to be a problem. Also on, well, all of this is actually going to disappear, so it's not going to be a problem. Get rid of, sometimes I get I get lost in the node and the lines. Which line am I working on? So we've got all this stuff. And again, I'm just going to go here and quickly hit the I button. It's another node done. We'll get rid of all of this. We're looking good so far. And then we're going to do these other clavicle. So that's what they call these bones, unfortunately. They're clavicles. Not unfortunately, that's what they're called. There you go. You learn laser and anatomy here on the Laser Livestream. So we're going to put just a couple nodes in here. And again, we can start deleting some of the other stuff. And again, I don't know, maybe it's a silly thing, but I actually find this kind of really, really calming for some reason. Now I'm just going to jump out of that node edit, and so I can delete a few other things here. We can delete this piece here. Now this piece does need a little bit of editing because it comes out here, and all I need to do again, my favorite tool, put one in there, and then start deleting this. Almost there. Let's delete all these guys. Wow, that was more than I expected, actually. We'll just get rid of this node and this node as well. Just by making sure you've removed all the nodes, you're also removing any confusion for Lightburn or anything that's going to generate your laser commands. Oh, actually, that one, see, I'm kind of funny. No one's going to know, but I do. So we're going to just, again, put an I in there, an I in there. We'll delete the rest of it. Whoa, too fast. No. Let's delete that other node. Ooh, that's interesting. There we go. And if we zoom out, that's actually now done. I've done all my design work. Let's go and put it in the center. Now, if we go to preview, you can see now that we've got all this really fine detail with the design, as I move up, skeleton head, using the tools that I've been sharing with you. So that is a kind of a really cool way of being able to take two different styles and use the tools in Lightburn to create something that's kind of unique. Now, the icing on the cake is to actually go back in here, ungroup them. Then once I've unlocked it, of course, skill, let's ungroup it, and I can start putting different elements on different layers. So I'm going to put this on a blue layer, this one on a blue layer too, and this third one on a blue layer. And by using the fill command instead of the line, when we go back to the preview, you can actually see, I'll just move that down a little bit. You can see all the work that's needed, but you can actually see when we zoom in that we've got some detail in here in the eyes. And again, we can work on it, we can expand it, we can do whatever we want. So this is a really fun way to create something. I don't know why I just hit that button again. I went to the center button. Finally, what I end up doing is, if this is something that I'm going to use and keep, I'm going to group it all together, which means I can resize it. I can do whatever I want with it. And I kind of enjoy this blending of different modes. So let me know whether you enjoyed kind of that walkthrough, what your favorite tools in Lightburn are. Definitely share that with me. And let's go back. Whoa, we are back. And kind of talk about what your favorite tools in Lightburn are. So guys, you know, I know that it's going to take a little bit of a delay, but you know, there is a whole nother side to Lightburn, and that is actually controlling your laser, setting up those different commands, those different modes for different results in the laser. If you want, I can definitely go and share with you my favorite tools on that side as well. But right now, that's how I like to create. And hopefully, if you're a new user to Lightburn, or you haven't explored some of those tools, we've given you some inspiration to be able to go out there, fire up Lightburn, and see whether or not you can start getting the same results that I was getting using those edit nodes, as well as the trace, the offset, and all the amazing stuff. Stuart's sharing with us in the chat room live. Love the node edit, one of my favorites. Man, I'm telling you, it changed so much, especially when I trace something and I need to modify it. Node edit is one of the coolest things that I know. Peter's also saying definitely node editing. Yeah, image tracing and the camera. Next time I'll show the camera. You know what? I didn't think of that as an actual tool, but it absolutely is. The Blazer 2 that I have has a camera. That'd be awesome. Dave Randall saying the undo button. You know what? I should have put that in the poll as well. The undo button. I hit you. You know what? 100. Maybe I should have made that number one. Really, the undo button is amazing. I'm forever trying things out and being able to go back and then kind of explore something. Doesn't work, then we'll just keep going the other way. Absolutely. Audrey also thinks the undo function is great, and Rondo as well. The undo is my friend. I'm going to ask the guys in the chat room right now. Do we undo is the most used one? I agree with that too. Do we thank the team at Lightburn for the undo, or is that kind of like a operational or operating system function? Either way, it has saved so many people so much heartache, whether you're using Lightburn or any other program. I am as well very, very thankful that it's there. But I don't know if that's exclusive to Lightburn in that way. You tell me in the chat room right over here whether or not you consider that to be a Lightburn tool or not. I wonder if it's a computer tool, but either way, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that as well. Because you know what, you're right. Maybe I completely missed my my alignment with it. Maybe I should have said undo was a tool. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, it's all good. It's all good. Did best tool undo Lightburn function, says Stuart. You think it's a Lightburn function? Awesome, Stuart. I'll pay that. Well, should we send a message to Jason and thank him for the undo function on Lightburn? That's kind of cool. Wonder if anyone else. Peter says undo and redo is a universal tool. See, it's kind of like Apple and Mac now. You know, people. One says it's a Lightburn tool. The other one says it's a universal tool when it comes to computing. That's why I was confused. Either way, I mean, you know what? In all honesty, I probably wouldn't have been able to get the results that I want if it wasn't for undo. Even going through the functions live here on the live stream, you saw me hit one button and then, you know, undo it or do another function. You never know. Max is brand new to the to this live stream. How are you doing, Max? Max is someone I know in the real world. He said, I used the Lightburn downstairs and it really hurt. Not recommended. Max, do not light burn yourself. But it's good to see you, my friend. I'm glad that you came in to say hello. You'll have to come over and I'll show you how to use Lightburn when it comes to lasers. Rhonda's saying it's universal but awesome. There is no doubt about that. Undo is an awesome function, whether it's in Lightburn or anything else that you're using on the computer. And Peter sharing with us, I need it in my development software I use. Wow, you've got developmental software that doesn't have an undo? Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Either way, it's kind of cool. Audrey's sharing, it's an important tool for the creative process. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I love about, you know, working with not just software, but also different types of equipment. Some of the things you see behind me is that the real learning is when you make a mistake and then you understand what it is that you need to do to go to the next level. So you know what? There are no unhappy accidents. There's no mistakes, at least in the spaces that I like to work and promote. As I always say, a maker space is a breaker space. You're going to break things, and that's okay. Just let's hope that it's not. You're not breaking something that we can't replace. Peter says, yes, it's called brains. There you go. There you go, Peter. Let's move on. I know that we're actually kind of on time, but let's go and jump into one of my favorite segments. I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to get flagged. Wow, I got to be honest with you guys. YouTube flags any sort of like content stuff or whatever it is, and it's kind of a weird thing, but I've got to whistle it. This is the good and the bad, the ugly. And you know right now that those bots on YouTube are going to send me a thing and go, you have a claim strike. Believe it or not, I'm getting good at whistling it enough that they say that I'm stealing content. We'll deal with it. That's not a problem. The good and the bad and the ugly, we're going to talk about what I think is a great material to use in your laser, and that happens to be cotton. Cotton is a natural fiber, and but just be aware that when you process or you cut cotton with a laser, not only can it give you great results, but as a natural fiber, it's also made up of cellulose, with just like any other plant-based fiber. This can kind of cause a bit of an issue. The first thing I would love everyone to be aware of is that when you start cutting cotton, you're going to get like a burnt paper smell because of those cellulose in the fiber itself. So just make sure if you're going to do it, if you can do it outside or if you've got ventilation, because in a very quick period of time, you're going to get a little bit, I don't want to say overcome, but it gets a little bit uncomfortable when it comes to cutting cotton. The other thing that I want to share with you guys is that cotton doesn't melt at all, but it will just burn when you're laser cutting. Also, the edges won't be sealed, so you will have the fibers kind of sticking out, and it may look burnt if you haven't dialed in the correct settings of your material. So definitely do tests. We've gone through and shown how you can work out the best cutting settings and even engraving settings. I actually haven't engraved cotton, but I'm assuming that by removing certain layers of cotton, you'll get a different look to the material. Now, if you're going to go out and grab something that is cotton around your house and put in your laser, just be aware that a lot of what is considered cotton is actually a mix of cotton and polyester. And that kind of can be a good thing because the higher the percentage of polyester in your material, the easier it is to cut, right? And it also makes it a lot cleaner. So the higher the cotton count, you're going to deal with those kind of burnt edges and maybe a burnt look to the cotton itself. But ironically, polyester being an unnatural fiber, maybe, is that a word? Unnatural fiber or man-made fiber? It's kind of polyester. It's very similar to plastic. It's safe to cut in your laser, but again, it reacts in a different way. So it's a little bit cleaner in that way. So just make sure you're testing your material and what it's made up of before you start putting in your laser to cut it. Cotton is a really, really interesting one. It's used a lot. I don't know if anyone has bought any of those printed kind of cotton shirts. They put them in lasers and cut all that sort of stuff out. There's industrial lasers there just to cut the pieces of material. We can do it in a diode laser, CO2 laser, probably not a fiber laser, but if you haven't done it before, definitely give it a shot. see what you can come up with. Again, just be aware that if you do go overboard, there may be an ignition, and also make sure that it's vented. But apart from that, you're good to go. And for me, that's a good material to start exploring, something I'm going to do myself. Peter sharing also that jeans are great to engrave. We definitely covered that in a previous Good and Bad the Ugly. It is very cool. Stuart also sharing that he has a scheduling tool that also doesn't have an undo. How can you not have an undo on software now in these days? Gosh, part of learning is trying things out and seeing how they work. Guys, thank you so much. We're not going to finish straight up, but beforehand, I do want to share with you guys that we are getting tips and tricks from everyone in the community. We've done this before. I love to be able to do a special on all the different ways that you have found to learn different ways of cutting material or using your laser. Please feel free to be able to share that with us. You can email your favorite tip or trick to laser.livestream@gmail.com. You can also, if you're interested in diving deeper into Lightburn, maybe you want to do a one-on-one, or maybe you're working on a project and you just can't get around. I do virtual classes or one-on-one tuition. If you're interested, again, drop me a line at laser.livestream@gmail.com. Quite a few people in the chat room have done that with me. And it's always been a really, really positive experience. So if you're interested, just drop me a line and we'll see what we can do. I also very quickly want to thank Darkly Labs and Lightburn again for sponsoring these live streams. They are awesome. They have been here from day one. It is awesome to see that the community is growing, and it's just really, really good to be able to reach out and see all the people who are here live. I know I'm based in Australia. We get a lot of people in the US who stay up late. I want to thank all of you. Also, where everyone is right now around the world, you guys are awesome. It's just been a lot of fun. Guys, I hope that by sharing some of my favorite tools in Lightburn, it's inspired you to dive a little deeper, because the better you are at Lightburn, or whatever tool you're going to use, the better you are at actually expressing yourself. And that's the amazing thing. There's going to be a point where you're not going to think about the tools anymore. You're just going to know instinctively how to create what it is you want to make. That's going to make you a better laserologist, a better laser user. And you know what? It's really cool to be able to be part of that journey. Guys, until I see you in 2 weeks' time, stay safe. Thank you guys so much. Go make something amazing with your laser, and I'll see you here in 2 weeks' time for the Laser Livestream. I will catch you on the flip side real soon. Stay safe. Go make something amazing.